Alrighty. Okay, so good morning or afternoon, everyone, depending where you are. On behalf of Data Visual, welcome to the Creating the Perfect Space to Collaborate with Legrand AB. I'd like to introduce our speakers today. We have Elisa and Dean, both project managers from Legrand, who will be guiding us through today's presentation. And before we start, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Some questions will be answered during the webinar, and others will be answered during the Q&A at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are excited to be with you all today and excited to run through this presentation. So again, I know someone will be monitoring the chat for questions, comments, but would love to hear from you all, if all else, at the end of the presentation. So Dean and I are going to tag team here and take you through this deck. So when we talk about the trends in collaboration spaces and what we're continuing to see as we evolve and really through this post-pandemic mode of hybrid workspaces, we're going to take you through, again, a lot of our Legrand AV solutions really zeroing in on our furniture and acoustics offering and how our solutions really hit on some of these pain points and how just the shift on how we're deploying collaboration spaces continue to evolve and how our furniture is really flexible in that realm. So we really, as we're continuing to deploy new spaces as well as retrofit current spaces, they really need to be optimized for hybrid workflows. They need to be modular, tech integrated, privacy friendly. There's a whole host of things. As people are continuing to come back to the office, we want them to be comfortable. We want them to stay there. We need to give them things as far as how the furniture is deployed and set up to make them want to be in the office, right? So there's, of course, a whole host of different types of collaborative type spaces, as well as kind of those focused spaces. And especially when you're in an open office environment, really having kind of more of those areas that are more for huddle, spontaneous interaction, some for larger meetings, and then just some also, more focused or quote unquote quiet pod spaces. One thing that's really interesting and that continues to evolve and really kind of on that note is the employee experience metrics are really driving more of these design decisions, not just cost efficiency. Of course, we want the solutions that are deployed to be reliable, durable, and last for the life cycle, especially with budget constraints and whatever that cycle may be to refresh pieces of those spaces. But again, employees more and more are having more of a stronger voice in how these spaces are deployed and what they want, right? Depending on what you're using the space for. The prioritization is really around productivity, adaptability, and corporate culture. And again, just the shift towards more intentional, tech-enabled, flexible workspaces, really fostering collaboration, innovation, and well-being, which is also very important in this hybrid area for those that are using these spaces. So kind of on that note, we talk about meeting equity a lot and ensuring everyone is seen and heard in the space, whether you're on the screen or you're present in the room. And there's so much more in this realm that it really continues to evolve. And it's not just the technology itself, but some of these things are in our control and some are not, but just working together across different functions to deploy these spaces, design these spaces, really taking into account not just the camera quality, but the lighting in the space from an audio perspective, the acoustics, not just the speaker and mic quality. Furniture, we're going to talk through a lot of different table shapes today, the height, adjustability, the mobility, and again, just the overall experience and ease of use in these spaces. People want to be able to sit down, plug in, and have everything work for their meeting or whatever they intend to use the space for at the time and not want to have to fumble with technology. I know we've all been there. So just speaking a little bit more to comfort, equity, and ergonomics, there's a few different areas here I'll touch on briefly. And then we'll talk about the good stuff with our furniture and acoustics offering. So physical comfort and accessibility, environmental wellness, and technology equity. Just going to touch on each one of those aspects to really hit home, how we create these inclusive AV spaces. So when you're thinking about designing these spaces, just some things to consider. This is not an exhaustive list by any means, but just some high spots we felt would be good to talk through. So again, flexible furniture arrangements that accommodate different needs. It's really important to understand what the space will be used for so that you can recommend and deploy the right types of furniture. And again, Dean is going to take us through what some of those configurations and types of furniture may be for these spaces. Having clear sight lines and multiple viewing angles, proper acoustic treatment. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit to ensure audio clarity, ADA compliant design elements. That kind of spans through, any type of space, ensuring that people are safe and, there are no safety hazards when interacting with a space or walking by a space or a piece of furniture. And then adequate spacing between seating for mobility devices and all those things. We want all of us, when we go into a space and sit down, want to be comfortable, want to have things accessible to us. So keeping all of those elements in mind. When it comes to environmental wellness, again, the overall well-being of the space should be considered. Again, this may be not necessarily what an AV integrator or someone may be in charge of, but other various departments, other pieces of the project have accountability in this area, and it all kind of comes together holistically at the end. But the appropriate lighting levels, good ventilation and temperature control, reducing any visual distractions through thoughtful design, protecting spaces for those that need more privacy, like I spoke to a little bit earlier, having more of those focused, kind of quote unquote pods or even those, singular huddle spaces versus getting together with, 2, 3, 4, 5+ people at a time. And then just the durability of the curated solutions within the space. And wherever possible with sustainable materials as well. And then lastly, for technology equity, having a power plan. We're not going to speak to it too in depth today, but also through Legrand, we have a whole host of really awesome power solutions, but having access, monitoring, and backup, ensuring that the space is reliable, the technology in it has an uptime, and there's a plan for any mishaps, whether it's weather related or other, that the system stays up at all times. Support for hearing and visually impaired users. Multiple ways to participate and engage with content, especially in the hybrid sense. You want to make sure that if you're writing on a whiteboard over there, the camera better be tracking to that. Otherwise, people can't see, only the folks in the room, and that doesn't really give you a true equitable experience for all in the meeting, for example. Again, the consistent experience and quality regardless of the location of where you are in the room, and then just the integration with personal devices and just custom accessibility needs. Again, really depending on what the space is being used for and what the intentions are, just keeping all of those things in mind. So with that, as we kind of lead into talking through some of our solutions with Legrand AV, this is just one kind of depiction, lifestyle image of what we can bring to the table, right? The value proposition of Legrand. We have a whole host of amazing brands that really all these different components and solutions work together to deploy truly a holistic collaborative space between all of our different types of product category components. So this is just one depiction of a multitude of our brands and an example of deploying a specific space, in this case, higher ed. So as we go through the presentation, we're going to talk through a whole host of our furniture and acoustic solutions. And really specifically, we're going to spend a lot of time on what we call our forum collaboration suite. So we've got display stands and tables, ADA tile kits, and a newer lectern and side rack that Dean's going to walk us through. But before we get into that, just going to touch on our acoustic solutions, and then I'll hand it over to Dean. So this is a little bit newer space for Legrand AV. But we manufacture as broader Legrand a whole host of acoustic solutions. And as you'll see as Dean goes through our furniture, more intentionally, we are starting to incorporate this type of material into our furniture. So really having a holistic look and feel across different solutions that you're deploying in a space, from the furniture to the wall to the ceiling. Again, kind of having that holistic design aesthetic. But really excited to share with you a few of these solutions that we now have that you have access to in the acoustic realm. And again, this is more and more becoming, quote unquote, an problem within AV, especially for spaces that have already been deployed. Really introducing sound absorption treatment to really retrofit those spaces to be at the utmost quality. These products range in different noise reduction coefficient percentages. So again, we can share that, but going to kind of walk through a few of the solutions here. So first is our True Tile. These are our acoustical wall panels. They are 2x2. They come in 23 different colors and 7 different designs, which is really exciting. You can orient the tiles in different ways to make different beautiful patterns. One example that you see here with our double arc design. The noise reduction coefficient for these tiles are 0.3, and they're sold as an each, but can be packaged up to 12 in a box. These are really great when you can put some treatment on the wall, especially if there's one wall in particular behind the display would be where you would want to primarily put this treatment. But as long as you don't have any glass walls or anything in the space, those could go on any and all walls to really help with some sound absorption. And along the bottom here, I know it's small, but these are the 23 colors that we offer as both standard and premium. Now moving on to the ceiling, we've got 2 treatments that we're going to talk about today. There are a few other treatments that we do have that we can also speak to when you don't have a ceiling grid or maybe a floating grid. There are acoustical baffles, which could also be part of the conversation. But today we're just going to focus on 2 types of the ceiling tiles, both our Nevo and our Ori line. For Nevo specifically, there are different drops. Again, if you have a really echoey space, these, while the True Tile is great for the wall, these are really a little bit more of a sound absorption. You can see the NRC rating here ranges from 0.9 to 1.3, depending on the level of drop. Obviously, 7 inches being the most absorption for this line specifically. But again, you can make some sort of artistic pattern, if you will. These are also 2x2, drop right into a ceiling grid, come flat packed. And then just quickly to round out the acoustic offering, we have our Ori line, and this is really designed with the art of origami in mind. There are different profiles, there's slopes and peaks, again, to make kind of a design aesthetic. These have an average of 1.1 NRC rating. It doesn't necessarily vary depending on the different peaks or drops for this design specifically. But really beautiful, and again, also come in the 23 colors. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dean to take us through some of our furniture offering. Dean, take it away.
Yes, thank you. Yes, great stuff. Those, we got to get more images out. Those images don't do the patterns justice when you see these patterns in person on a wall there. It's really, really nice. Yeah, excuse me. Good morning. So I'm going to start with display stands and tables. And what you see here, I can't point, but I'll just guide you. That image top left is our 7-person forum collaboration table based on the recipe of the Microsoft Medium Teams room, set up with that type of equity that Alyssa was talking about, getting the eyes and the speakers and everything lined up properly. That format is a little bit different than your typical collaboration table, but we're finding great success, and those are becoming very popular. That shape And I'm going to go off the rails a little bit and mention that Middle Atlantic does a significant amount of custom work, and that when we look at that table for 7 persons, keep in mind that we have a custom recipe for that table in 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 person sizes. So if you don't see the size that you need there, keep in mind that we do custom work on a regular basis. The next one to the right is our angle table. And that's one of the tables that's angled in a traditional teleconferencing shape, and that is angled as a trapezoid so that the faces can be seen as you look down the row there by the camera. Available in 5 to 7 person and 3 to 5 people, so roughly 5 foot and 8 foot sizes. Also, again, bringing out the meeting equity, the ability to cable manage. I'll show you the insides later. Hide all the cables. And again, I just mentioned custom cutouts for boxes and things like that. Is something that we do on a regular basis here at Middle Atlantic. Next, clockwise, the display stand has got its doors open there. That's showing the PET shroud behind the displays, along with the coverings on the front and back of the housing. That is a freestanding version. There's also a floor-to-wall version that's barely visible in the image to the left. You can see that unit doesn't have a base. It's a little obscure, but that picture the purpose was to show the ADA tiles. Those 2 boxes, one on each side of that, makes that system compliant with ADA in terms of obstructions. So there are the boxes. The 2 display stands that I mentioned both have storage at the bottom and the sliding doors. And behind the display, there are a couple of sizes. Thank you for that perfect timing. The 48-inch does single displays, and the 66-inch wide display stand does singles up to 100 inches, including 21.9, 105. And the duals up to 75, I believe we're up to 85 now. We'll update that spec when we get time. So again, you see both the floor-to-wall mount, the unit on the top left and the bottom right, where it doesn't have a base. It's attached to the wall. It's got to be bolted in so that it's not going to tip over. And then the bottom left and upper right are the freestanding versions that do not attach the wall, completely self-standing, tested for tip and balance. Available in designer white and Asian night, as we mentioned, the door colors, and they coincide with the dark gray and silver gray PET. Cable and passive thermal management, 4RU rack mount down below. We've got 2 2RU mount devices in there, along with lever lock where you can mount any number of small devices, along with using a cheap Fusion display mount. We've got 2 different versions, one on the 48 and one on the 66. And we've got a kit for every size range you can dream up to 55, 75, 85 duals, singles, all the way from 42 up to 105 inches. And then onto the tables. We've got a couple of pretty good images there. So again, if you take a look at the top left, that is I'm not going in order at all, but that's okay. That is the rectangular table. It is a straight table intended for 2 individuals as part of a row where you would set that up within the arc tables, and you could have a straight run, for example, to add to that row, or for use as an individual workstation. The next to the right is the arc-shaped table, and that is the 3-person arc table. And those are individual units that can be attached to each other. They come with really nice coupling hardware that enable you to attach them in different groups, should you want to disconnect them and then move them to a different shape or a different position. The next is the angle table, and you can see a little bit better image of the top there than you can in the other one there. That 87-degree trapezoid shape is ideal for video teleconferencing. And again, cable management, grommets, all included. And you can see the cable management in that picture down below, coming from the floor, from your Connect Track or OFR raceway, going right up into the unit, out into the power section, up on top of the desktop through the grommets if need be, over to the wire mold mod power unit that's mounted there. That is our favorite option for adding USB and connectivity to, and power to the unit. You can add those in every one of the positions that is available to be used on each of these tables. We've got pilot holes all underneath there. And that will allow you to connect those mod power units in a variety of positions. So everyone has the same connectivity. So rectangular tables, arc-shaped tables, and angle-shaped tables, all with similar cable management. And they all will someday include this bag hook. We're out of stock right now, but we're working on it, including a bag hook that has become a popular feature to be able to hang your bag up, I guess, and not put it on the floor. So we're going to get that back in shape. Any questions on any of these tables? I think we got another slide. Oh, okay. Was that it? We don't have another one. Okay. To talk about cable management, but that's okay. Let's go right to T5 series conference tables. These are available in both HPL and in veneer. That is a literally hand stained and rubbed and clear coated veneer to match any one of the 10 standard colors that we have. And we also do color matching for the T5 conference table. We would ask for a 5x5 chip, and we would produce a counter chip that matches. They are available in 8 through 12 person size tables in both the rectangular shape that you see here and in a boat shape, depending on the style and design selected. It can be selected on the website. But the cool part is we have a patented swing out 4RU rack placed in the base here that is not available in any of our other products. And so the T5 is set up to come right out of the box with integrate cable boxes, retractors for HDMI that pull right up into the boxes, middle Atlantic power strips, middle Atlantic 4RU rack. Of course, you can get it without all that tech included in it, but that is the recipe that makes it easy and fast. Bring that unit in, drop in your switch and conferencing hardware, and go. So T5 conference table.
And match it with the credenza, which we're going to talk about in a little bit too.
Yeah. I should have gone there. There's that picture. Yeah, that's very good. Very nice. And now to the forum lectern. We're good on time, right? I'm not going too slow. Okay. So we'll start. We have three lecterns. The L2 is a more cost-effective model available in one size. We have 4 colors. We recently revised the colors on that. It is available with a flip shelf option, and it comes with a 12RU rack included in the bottom. Lifts out, can be integrated on a bench, and put back into the lectern when you're ready. The next step up is the L5, and that is a true frame to furniture product where you'll get the frame that represents the rack mount components and all of the rack mount storage, cable management, thermal management, fans included, and the turret top or the flat top. There's a wide range of available options and customizability on the L5. 3 sizes, 8 standard colors, also available in veneer, and that is the workhorse of the lectern industry. That's our more popular lectern so far, until the new forum catches up, which is happening quickly. The forum lectern to the right there is more of a bells and whistles, full bells and bells and whistles teaching station, if you will. We consider it. You can throw those words around if you want. It is a multimedia teaching station. The word pulpit and all those are Well, we've been kicking them around anyway. So the forum lectern is available in 42, 60, and 72-inch widths. We went a little extra wide on that 72-inch because we do not believe that flip shelves have a future in higher ed, and we think that extra space would generally be used up with your typical document camera, for example. So yeah, we have those three widths. We have flat or turret. And keep in mind here that on the forum lectern, every option we're going to mention is field mountable. There's nothing that requires previous machining at Middle Atlantic. So you can order, even if later on you decide to change the top of your unit and you want to put a turret on there because you have a new control unit you want to put on, we can certainly get you that turret, and you can add that as need be. So what you see here is a height adjustable ADA lectern that has power available, of course, US power, but we've also gone to Europe with this product. So we've got power solution for a variety of regions. There is a side rack that is an option, 12, 16, and 20 RU. There's also a 6 RU undermount rack that you see down below there in that lower picture. And that can be with door off for full access, depending on access, if you want to give access to it, or a locking door, of course. And then to the right are a couple of turrets there. We could talk a little bit more about the turrets. I think we have another image that goes a little bit further on that subject. So what we did is we opened up this whole trough there at the top with we filled it with black metal. And we look at the 60 and the 72-inch, for example, as having 4 possible spots that could contain a half turret, or a full turret would occupy 2 of those spots. And also we have a drop-in table box from a sister company of Legrand by the name of A&H Meyer. They're a company in Germany, and they are providing us with a very high quality flip-up box that contains electrical outlets, along with HDMI, RJ45, USB-A, USB-C, and I think one more. Oh no! And then there's also an open spot on that box that'll allow you to drop a cable in. If there's a cable connection that you have that's not included with this box, you can take the cable and add it to the box so that it can be pulled out of the box, connected, and slid back in. Kind of your own little retractor, if you will. There's an empty space in this box that allows you to do that. The box, of course, is not shown here. Why would I show it to you? Well, I talked about it, but we'll get an image of it up. So that, for example, you see the image in the center of the drawing there, where there's the large turret to the left. That table box could be in that opening to the right. So that large unit, that large turret, could contain a control panel, your microphone, your task light, and any other accessories, of course. And then you've got your table box to the right. So any combination based on that between those makes that what we consider to be a pretty versatile lectern. Any comments or questions about any of that? We have a logo program while you're thinking about your questions. We include a round size and 3 different widths. And we like to think we're being successful by letting the artwork more or less dictate the logo size. So we've got a 14-inch height on all 4 of those. And then, so what we're doing is we're blowing the artwork up as much as we can. And on the width there, as long as we've got even borders, we're kind of evening it up. And that's what it is. In other words, the smallest lectern could get the largest logo depending on what their artwork looks like. So, of course, customer can have a say in that, but it's working well so far. The panel itself is an aluminum panel covered with durable polycarbonate, really, really durable. That screws on. It comes with offset washers, if you will, so you can have the logo offset from the back panel by a little bit. I think it's about 1 inch. And yeah, custom logos.
And this is an image from the case study we have on legrandav.com with Sneed State. And just a shameless plug, would love to partner with a university in Canada if there's an opportunity to deploy this lectern and do a case study, another case study. So something to think about.
Good one. We talked about ADA. We need to leave in two of the sizes. We need to leave the middle rack out, of course, to get ADA. So you can get up underneath there. But of course, things can be done elsewhere. You can have the side rack, find a different way to do that. ETL tested for safety and electrical safety. RoHS, REACH, ADA, Green Guard, and EPA certifications. How do you like
And
us
I
now?
apologize, I just learned about the ACA, so we'll make sure that we also add that logo for the Accessible Canada Act.
Yeah, beauty. And now for credenzas. Are we good on time? We going?
Yeah, doing good.
Okay. All right. C3 credenza, very popular product, 10 inches deep. You see a couple of widths there, flexible component storage, modern aesthetics, frame to furniture. So there's a metal frame in there. And again, this unit comes when you buy the tech kit, the rack kit, for example, that goes in one of the bays. It comes with the fans. We've got cable management set up. They also take displays. What you can see here is a pair of I guess 60s. We go up to 90-inch, I believe, on duals. They are attached to the wall. We'll have to double check the specs. And so the good part about that is that it's attached to the wall. We've got covers for the cables. You can see the two white uprights between the display and the cabinet there. Cables drop right down into the cabinet from there. 4 RU slide out racks are very, very popular. There's a wood shelf kit because we realize it's not all about AV. And door locks, I believe, are optional, along with single and dual display mounts. Very popular product. C5, our most popular furniture product, is available in 3 depths, 22-inch, 27, and 31. We thought the 31 would be going away by now, but Crestron is still selling big switches, and God bless them, keep going. So 1, 2, or 3 bays. The C5 integrated, easy ways to integrate power. Cable management and thermal management, of course, are always there. We have a proprietary blower that we put in the top of the unit. And when we get down to, there's, again, a lot of variety. We have 3 different cut styles, if you will. The Classic is more of a traditional OG routing design. The Soda is a squared off and minimalist design. And the Moderno is more of a wrap where we've got thick side panels that match the top, and that 1-inch wrap is all the way around. The Classic is only available in veneer, and the Soda and Moderno are both available in HPL and veneer. And the HPL, of course, is the most durable and most popular finish there is that we can think of. And the Soda is certainly the most popular C5 design, but that doesn't mean there isn't a lot of Moderno out there. We've partnered with Wilson Art so that the 7 standard HPL colors that we stock are Wilson Art colors. In the US, Wilson Art is #1 high pressure laminate finish manufacturer to the furniture trade, and Formica is #8. We do have a couple of finishes from Formica, and we are capable of getting just about any finish. So keep in mind, when they don't see the color that they want in our standard offering, we do custom colors all the time, all day long. So any HPL we can get our hands on for a mild upcharge, we can put it on. And now that we've had more popularity with 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 bays for government entities, we are offering, and we haven't officially, I don't know if we've officially announced it yet, Alyssa, or not.
It'll be on
that
the
we're doing.
website soon.
Good, cool. Yeah, yeah,
But
we're on the
we'll
web
take an order any time.
any day. So consider that what you see there is a 3-bay cadenza that was our largest size. And we've had great interest in 4 and 5 bay cadenzas. They fill out the size a little bit when they're putting giant displays up above it. And many of these government entities that we're talking about somehow really manage to fill these things up. So we're delighted to do it. So we call that Type 1 custom. This is not an official launch. You're going to see an official launch come out that says that we're taking orders as custom. Certainly on 4-bay, we've got a pricing worked out. We've got the engineering worked out. We have an idea what the part number is going to look like. We're ready to do those easily because we repeat them so often, but it's not in the regular product line. And you're going to see more and more of this because there's so much customizability on furniture. We're starting to blur the lines between what we show as a standard enhancement on our website and what we do as custom and through the custom group. So stay tuned. There's not much we won't do. I shouldn't say that, but we're doing a lot of custom and we're not afraid of it. Bring it on.
When in doubt, just ask the question, right?
Yeah, yeah. So options, pre-configured, customized, or woodworker's kit. You can also buy the frame and let your wood guy make their own wood kit. We've had more of that lately, where we've got a designer who's got a specific idea and a high-end woodworker that's capable of producing these covers in a appropriate fashion. Single and dual display mounts, door locks and handles optional either way. Slide out rack, the SR, one of the old standards, is an option. Flip up shelf for the side to get extra space. Those are popular when they're used as buffet tables, if you will. Put the audio in one and the dishes in another cabinet. Wood shelf insert kit. That is a shelving kit that we mentioned for the inside. Trash recycling can insert kit. Can't tell you how popular that can be. Every facility has to have recycling, and that's a great place to hide it. You've got a slide out unit like the kitchen unit that goes in 27 and 31 inch C5s, and a bay extender for the rear. Really just a trouble get out of jail free card. Someone winds up at the site and they've got a component that's too deep for the standard cadenza as it is. We've got an extender that allows you to add 3 inches to the rear of the bay. It's an integrator's lifesaver. Doesn't come up often, but occasionally. Any questions about C5 or any of that?
I think we're winding down towards the end of the presentation. So yeah, definitely think about those questions. Just real quick, honorable mention here. We talked a lot about furniture and cable management, and just wanted to also shout out 2 other brands you have access to via Legrand AV, both wire mold and Connect Track. We really design our furniture with the intention that it works with all of these solutions, whether it's the OFR Raceway or the Connect Track Express kits, the desktop power, the integrated furniture power. We'll do a cut any day and any table. We've got table boxes, poke throughs, floor boxes, outdoor power, in-wall boxes, really all that you need. So just wanted to also mention those solutions that are really complementary to what we've been talking about. And then lastly, just wanted to hit home some tools and support. We spend a lot of time, we've got an amazing tech support team, amazing marketing team, amazing custom design team, as Dean just mentioned. We'll entertain and talk through any scenario to see if there's something that we can collaborate on that might be a slight alteration from our standard product. But really leverage those tech support teams. They're here for you, our technical application support engineers. We have multiple folks in each region that are here to help. If you have any custom needs, again, we've got a design center for that. Color, material, finish sample kits. Dean has done an amazing job making sure that we've got samples in stock and they're packaged beautifully. We've got really rich content with technical documentation you can download on our product pages on legrandav.com. We talked about acoustics earlier. Our internal teams have access to an acoustic calculator to help you with, trying to figure out what your reverberation time currently is, where it should be, depending on the space and how much acoustic treatment between the walls and the ceiling that you should deploy. We've got great guidebooks. There's a forum lookbook. We talked a lot about forum today. Download that forum lookbook. It's really beautiful. Kind of really captures all of the solutions that we spoke about today in the forum collaboration suite. And then lastly, you've attended this webinar today, which was a mini training, but really check out all the other trainings you have at your disposal on AVU. There's a lot of free courses. Some have CTS credits, so take advantage of that.